After wandering the land for ages, trying to understand where I was meant to go, I learned from the manual about a floating library to the south. This may be where the verdant key that I sought was being held. I fought my way through the ruined atoll, defeating the frogs in their own domain and claiming their treasured orb. Empowering the 4 obelisks that stood on those sandy beaches felt right, but something about the sound like screaming that escaped them as they burst with power was unsettling. However, I had no time to consider this. I had wandered too long. I knelt before the statue in the center of the atoll, and the statue lifted to reveal a portal. I was transported to a tower in the sky. I was in the Great Library. The books were as tall as I was, filling shelves all the way to the ceiling. The sun was setting as I climbed the stairs and delved deeper into these seemingly abandoned halls. A series of ladders led me higher and higher into the sky. I discovered a study, perhaps a laboratory, presumably once inhabited by the librarian of this archive. Books lay everywhere, scattered around disheveled furniture, appearing simultaneously lived in and forsaken. Experiments half completed and machines hastily wired up filled the back room. I discovered an obelisk that I could empower, giving me access to a shrine and a portal. One final ladder stood between me and whatever or whoever lay at the top of the tower. I grabbed the first rung and hurried up. There stood the librarian, brooding and staring across the sunset-lit lands far below. I knew this was to be my foe, and the rapidly gathering storm clouds confirmed my suspicions. Battle was intense, but I felt capable. I had many tools at my disposal, if only I could figure out the right combination. However, the librarian kept a distance that made fighting difficult with my current arsenal, only occasionally coming close enough for me to make strong contact. The distance combined with a wide arsenal of his own soon proved overwhelming for me. I was knocked down repeatedly until finally I succumbed to his blade. The librarian threw me from the tower without a sound or expression breaking his stoic composure. I was revived at the shrine, immediately ready to do battle once more. Though my inventory was somewhat reduced, I headed back up the ladder eager to defeat this enemy. Pictures of a golden-haired man in orange flashed through my head as I climbed. A past life, perhaps? I climbed faster, somehow knowing that he nor I would ever give up on a fight. Again and again, I fell to the librarian's dark magic. With my supplies completely drained, I knew that I must not rely on such things and must simply fight better. I decided to rest the night and try the fight the next day. Perhaps tomorrow would not be so cruel. I do not know when I awoke. It seemed that this tower experienced eternal sunset, or was it sunrise? Whatever it was, I felt refreshed and ready to take on the mage. I knew he would fall today, no matter how long it took. First fight was like shaking off cobwebs. How long had I slept? Felt as if it had been years. Maybe that's how long it had been since I last slept. Second fight, I felt light on my feet and strong. I had a solid strategy and knew that patience and persistence would ultimately win. I climbed that tower and faced the brooding librarian once more. I used what little supplies I had been able to scrounge up. Using all of the knowledge I'd gained of his abilities, I waited calmly for every opportunity I had to strike. Blow after blow, I whittled the mage down. I knew I could not let up no matter how close he seemed to falling. I too had little strength left, but I knew I must make that orange-clad warrior proud, so I persisted. Until finally, the librarian did not take the distance he normally did, and I struck fiercely. Using the magic dagger, I froze him and knew that this fight was mine.
Wait, I actually might kill here?
After a flurry of blows, the librarian let out a blood-curdling scream and fell to his knees before laying still. The dark clouds that had covered our arena parted to let the warmth of the sun embrace the peak of the great library. From the body of the fallen librarian rose the emerald key that I had sought for so long. I sat on the edge of the tower and nursed my wounds. Looking at the land below, the mountain in the north seemed to be calling to me, a purple glow rising from its western side. That was my next goal, where a key colored like the ocean must lie.
Dude, second try of the day. Yes!